is Katie. In last Friday's video, I did a little get ready with me for like going on a date, and I asked you guys in that video if you wanted to see a more in-depth eyebrow tutorial, and quite a few of you guys said you did. Well, like a few of you guys said you did, and so I figured I would do that today. I feel like my eyebrows are like more talked about than anything else on my channel. That is a lie. It's an exaggeration, but still, I just wanted to show you guys like how I do my eyebrows, and I do them 3 different ways. So this video is going to have 3 different ways that I do my eyebrows. It's gonna use a powder, a pomade, and an eyebrow pencil. And so let's just get started. Okay, so now that you are disgustingly close to my face, I have no makeup on except for some moisturizer. That's not makeup at all. I don't know why I said except. I have moisturizer on, and I have under eye cream on. I have the Derma E vitamin C moisturizer and the Skin Fix, whatever their eye cream is called. And so I'm going to show you the 3 different brow products that I use. So I'm going to first start with the brow pencil, which is the Precisely My Brow Pencil in the number color 6, which is the darkest one that they have. And it's like a cool toned dark brown. And so essentially my eyebrows are not like too bad. I pluck them pretty often. I don't get them waxed or anything. This one's like a little bit fuller than this one. Even if I'm not wearing any makeup, I sometimes will still just fill in my brows, because I feel like that's the thing that makes me feel the most like, okay, I feel a little bit like presentable, which obviously I feel fine going out without makeup, but having my eyebrows on is what I say, like having my eyebrows on makes me feel a little bit better about my face, I guess. I don't know. And then also putting concealer on. A lot of you guys are like, oh, but your skin's so nice. No, it's not at all. It's like there's some kind of filter thing on this camera, and then from like a faraway angle, you can't really tell, but my skin is not good. It's not like a filter, it's just like one of the settings. Anyway, so I'm just using the mirror in this little palette. And so yeah, I generally just start with my left one. I'm left-handed, so I feel like maybe that's just normal. Like you start with the one that is on the same side as the hand you use. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go in, and you can watch, I'll probably speed it up a lot, and then because it takes like a minute or 2, and so yeah, let's just, I'm just gonna, okay. And I, for me personally, feel like the pencil gives me the most like natural, like if I have no other makeup on and I just have a little bit of brow pencil in my eyebrows, it's not like whoa crazy. At least for me, at least how I do my own eyebrows, this is the least like bam bam. And then I do go a little bit lighter in the front. So that's kind of just how I would do it. So I filled it in on the top, and I, for some reason right this second, don't like a long tail on my eyebrows. I don't know why, but so I like to keep it a little short there. I might change my mind next week of how I do my eyebrows, but this is just how I do them right now. And then I do kind of add a line like right here a little bit to go in. So there you go. That's that one with the pencil. And I'll do the other side just to match. And I don't do like little hair strokes, whatever. I just kind of draw it on. And the same in the front. I just do a little bit. And there is a spoolie on the other end of this. And then I just kind of look and add. Honestly, again, depending on my makeup, I'd probably just leave them like this. That's that. Those are my pencil eyebrows. Okay, so I'm gonna take these eyebrows off with just a little wipe, and then we're going to do the powder. So they're obviously not like completely off, but close enough. So the brush that I use is the Anastasia number 14 brush. They have a number 12 and a number 14. 14 is a little bit longer and skinnier. And I use the Browsings by Benefit in the color number 6. And so this is a powder and like a gel, but I never use the gel. I don't know why, I just don't. And this comes with a brush, but I don't think that I've ever used it. It looks a little bit thicker even. Can you tell that like this is like a little bit thicker, like this way? Anyway, so this, even though it's powder, and I feel like in my head, you'd think that powder doesn't give you a very intense look. This does, and I really like the powder actually. This is what I've been using pretty often, is this Browsings. I really like it a lot. Okay, so my battery died. How zoomed were we? Way too much is the correct answer. How's that? Fine? Okay, so we were about to do the powder. So I'm using the Browsings by Benefit, and I basically just do the same kind of shape, but even sometimes I want more of a tail. Sometimes I want them to be a little bit thicker, you know? Some of it does depend on what makeup I have on, but also just some of it depends on how much I mess up. You know, like when you're doing like winged eyeliner and you totally mess one up, so then your wings get like this big because you mess one up, so you gotta add on this side and then add on this side. So it's kind of how it is with brows, you know? So anyway, I just dip like a little bit in the powder and this is like tapping off the excess. And then I just start at the top. And you can do the powder a little bit softer as well. I just feel like whenever I do the powder, it comes out looking a little bit bolder. But you can do whatever you want. This is just how I do mine. This just might be the end, that for me, my friend. And again, in the front, I kind of like, I don't really have much powder on there, and I just kind of do this. Because I'm not a makeup artist or anything. I just have eyebrows and put makeup in them. So then like for this, say I want to add a little bit more of a tail, just kind of go, I don't like to go like too far down because that makes your eye droopy. So I like to go a little bit more like across, like down obviously a little bit, but not like straight down and not like too curved down. So yeah, I think for this for right now, I want to add a little bit more in the front. Like make it almost like in more in the front. And I do that pretty lightly. I used to do it super heavy. Like if you watch my videos from a couple of years ago, it's super heavy. But I do a little bit lighter now. And with the powder, I mean with any of these, you can add a little bit more of an arch. You can kind of like cheat your way, you know, like if you don't have hair in certain spots, you can make it darker. So yeah, see, I want to add a little bit more of a tail, I feel like, today. But I feel like it's even good to go in lightly. Oh, and this brush has a spoolie on the end too. I like to go in lightly and then like layer it on after sometimes. But sometimes I go in super heavy. Who knows? Everything changes all the time. So there's an eyebrow. And yeah, I say that that's fine. And yeah, so there's another eyebrow done. And I do have some eyebrow gels, but I just don't really use them very often. I have the Gimme Brow by Benefit, which is like, I think it has like little fibers in it. And then I think I just have a regular brow gel, but I don't even know who makes it. Hold on, let me check. Maybe I don't. I have the Gimme Brow. Oh, I guess I don't. Yeah, because I never used them. So I do not have a clear brow gel. I thought I did. But I do have this Gimme Brow, again in the number 6. And so I'll put that on just to show you. Honestly, I don't really see that it does anything. But so that's the eyebrow right now. And that's it with the Gimme Brow. Especially on the camera. I'm not sure if you'll be able to notice anything. But, and again, see, I feel like the eyebrows that I did with the pencil just look a little bit lighter and more natural. I'm not like necessarily pro natural or pro super fake. It's just depending on your mood or depending what you prefer. But so that's one with the powder. And I'm just going to do the one with the pomade on this side. And so we can compare them a little bit. So this is like if I want like a really, really fake looking brow or really like precise brow, I will use a brow pomade. And so let me get a different brush because I don't want to get pomade on that brush. I have a few different eyebrow brushes. I like that one, but I also have like this e.l.f. one that's basically, or it's very similar. This is actually probably more like the 12. I said that's the 14, right? This one, this part's a little bit thicker, but this will be fine for what we're doing. I like this brush. And I know that I said like I like the thinner one, but this one, I still do like this brush. So I'm using the Ulta brow pomade in dark brown. So those Benefit brow products are pretty expensive, but they do work really, really well. But this Ulta brow pomade is like $10 or something, and I really like it. I do need a new one because this one's pretty dried out, but it'll definitely work for this. It's not even dried out. It's just like getting like clumpy, but I'm also like, I've used a lot of it. I've had this for a while. So I just kind of really like coat this, and then yeah, it's getting a little too clumpy. So this eyebrow might not be like perfect, but my eyebrows are never perfect, so. Butterfly drawn to your light, lifted up in the sky, hanging on to the kite. And then in the front of this one, again, this pomade is a little too thick, so it's not going to work out super well. Like I'm gonna throw this out right after this video. But in the front, I still don't want it to look too dark, so just kind of fade it. Starting a storm now, I know what it's time for. And if you realize that you put it in a spot that you didn't want it, or like you went too far up or too far down or whatever, I just kind of like wipe it with my finger. You can obviously wipe it with like a makeup wipe and then like put concealer over it. But if you feel like you have too much like in the front, like on your actual eyebrow hairs, you can just like wipe it away and redo it, or you can put like a translucent powder or like an actual like colored powder there to kind of even it out a little bit, or like an eyeshadow, like a light colored eyeshadow to even it out. Not like a light color like a blue, but like a bone color to like even it out, and then add a little bit more on top and kind of fade it. Reflection in my eye. And so if you want your eyebrow hairs to stay in place by only using one product, I would recommend a pomade, because obviously this one I said is like basically just too old and getting too crumbly and sticky. But pomades in general, they're pretty thick in general. Like they're kind of like a really thick gel. And so they will keep your brow in place without a brow gel, generally at least, in my opinion. But the powder and the pencil won't do that as much. And so if you want more of a stiff looking brow, like you don't want your brow hairs to be able to do this or like this, like if you don't want them to be able to move, then I would suggest using some kind of like clear brow gel or even a colored brow gel to put on it. But so yeah, anyway, so this is the one with the pomade. So that one's even darker. I feel like I just kind of did it in like the lightest to like the middle ground to the darkest. But obviously depending on the color that you get and like how heavy you are with your hand, they can look darker or lighter with the same product. So this is just kind of how I do them. This one looks a little bit messed up because I think that I still did it when it was a little bit wet from wiping off the last one. So like right here, it looks a little weird, but generally like you fill it in and it looks fine. So see, I feel like this one, like if you want one of those, like an Instagram brow, obviously you can do that with any of these, but in my opinion, with my like techniques on how I do it, if I want one of those Instagram brows where it looks like super sleek, I would use a pomade probably. Again, because I feel like it just keeps your brow hairs in place and it just looks the most like it looks the fakest to me. But I like fake eyebrows. Like I like when I have makeup on, sometimes I want to look a little natural, but I'm fine with it looking like I have makeup on because I put makeup on. So I'm totally fine with that. But I'd say that this is kind of in the middle. And then when I use a pencil, for me, it's the most natural, kind of the lightest, at least again, with my technique on how I do it. And so I'm going to zoom you back because this has been a terrifying, that's the wrong way, terrifying experience of having a camera that close to my face. So do we know where my glasses are? Yes. Okay. So that is going to be it for this video. I know it was like a different one for me. I don't really do like technique videos when it comes to makeup or anything, but I like doing my makeup. I like talking about makeup. I like collecting makeup. I like going makeup shopping. And I know that a lot of my viewers now, I feel like we just kind of have a lot of the same interest, and one of those is makeup. And so I've had quite a few people ask me to put my makeup on camera and stuff like that. And so I hope that you really did enjoy this. And if you have any other kind of makeup videos you want to see, let me know in the comments and I'll absolutely be happy to do that. Again, I think next Friday's video, or maybe even Sunday's video, is going to be going through like my skincare. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, make sure that you do so and hit the little bell and hit also notified of all my videos. And that's going to be it. I love you. Jesus loves you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Seasons change over time. Tricks when I know now it's time to let go.